Wrong one. Hello and welcome to Unlock Your Soul-Led Biz. Getting that all out in one word is fucking terrifying sometimes. Masterclass. So glad that you joined us. How tonight is going to work, or if you're catching the replay, we're going to be spending about 60 minutes together. We're going to make it short, sharp, amazing. I know you guys have babies and lives and things to get back to. Yeah, having a soul-led business and what that means to me and why I am so freaking passionate about it is because I've done the opposite. I have done the opposite where I have burnt myself out. I have not trusted the nudges. Like, a little bit of my backstory is, if you don't know, I owned a hairdressing salon for 8 years and basically burnt myself out to the ground. And, this is all a necessary part of our soul's journey, isn't it? It's a necessary part for us to go completely in one direction to then get the hit of what the next step is for us. So having the salon really showed me that towards the end that it was not what I wanted to be doing. And from that moment I said, okay, Spirit, God, whatever. It's like, if I could do anything, I want to do anything that every single day and every single moment I'm touching, moving, and inspiring people and myself. And that was my prayer in that moment. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this is because I see so many different business owners living a business that is going against what they're truly meant to do. And the limiting beliefs that we are placing on ourselves around what's possible. And this is the limiting beliefs from everywhere that we're consuming, whether it be from our parents and society and blah, 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 blah. And if you take away anything from tonight, I just hope you take away that you feel in your whole fucking body. Sorry, if you don't like swearing, I'm like literally the wrong mentor for you. Hopefully everybody knows that I like to swear because that's going to happen. I hope that you take away knowing in your full heart, mind, body, pussy, soul that this is possible. Living a life, living a business, living your wildest dreams is possible. We might not know the how. And the how's the fun bit. The how's the bit that we all try and get in our head about and be like, but how am I going to do it? What's my freaking purpose? And oh my God, that's the fun bit. Maybe not the fun bit. That's the bit that we trip ourselves up on constantly because we're like, oh my God, my human is like, but how do we make money doing this? Who's been there? Who's been there? Like, yep, that's been me before. Like, okay, but how? That doesn't make sense. And that's the beauty, is that our soul literally does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. And that will bring up all of our human stuff because we are logically trying being the key word, trying to make it make sense, trying to know the things. But your soul plays in miracles. How many of you guys have had so many examples where something happened and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can see exactly why that happened? Or the manifestation, we've all played in manifestation before, like, oh yeah, look at that, that's why that happened. And oh my gosh, the magic and the miracle that happened from me experiencing some fucking dark night of the soul shit or whatever was there. We've all been there. So tonight, I'm going to share the pillars that I have downloaded, channeled. I sound like such a wanker saying that, but that's me now. I'm a downloader, channeler, downloading codes from spirit. to share with you guys the 3 pillars. This is, you know, obviously we're only going to have an hour. We're just going to touch on the pillars of what it takes to have a soul-led business. And why do you guys want a soul-led business? Like, I want you to really contemplate that. Like, what is it that you are desiring in having a soul-led business? I mean, the reason that I teach this and I'm fucking obsessed with it, because having a soul-led business actually means the deepest levels of success, not just monetary. Monetary is just a byproduct from you being in your highest alignment. Money is a byproduct from you actually being in your truth. Money is a byproduct from saying no to the things that are not lighting you up anymore. And sometimes that can mean facing off with the ways in life that we are playing. And just a reminder, like, wherever you are at right now, like a year ago, I was just walking like such a dark time in my life. So, you know, that's the beauty of the soul as well, is that there is no time, and time is linear. And so whatever season you are in right now, like, it's really beautiful to trust and honor that season, because, you know, if we think we don't have time, or if we think we're not in the right place at the right time, we're dishonoring the path. And the deepest thing that you can come to know is that you are exactly where you are meant to be, and you are following the breadcrumbs, like following, like even just choosing to be here tonight, that's following the breadcrumb of your next step, following the breadcrumb of where you're going. So, like, deep compassion for everyone, and your soul doesn't care about time. Your soul knows that you are exactly where you're meant to be. And if you can just hold that trust for the vision, like that deep internal trust for knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, that's where the quantum, like, I don't really like playing in too much 5D stuff up there. I'm more of a grounded, you know, even though spirit is a deep part of my work, you know, yeah, you're where you're meant to be, and just trusting in that process. Cool. So I'm going to give you guys the 3 pillars. Who's excited? Who's excited? Who's having a good time? Gonna give me something, you know. This is Manny Jenny. I'm like, give me a response. I'm like, are they liking it? I don't know. I always say that on my calls. Thank you. Okay. So the first pillar, this is going to be pretty fucking obvious. The first pillar of having a soul-led business is your soul, obviously. Oh, actually, I want to touch on one thing. Sorry, rewind. Now, the reason I have 3 pillars is because it's the Holy Trinity. 2, I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about something called Gene Keys, which I absolutely love. And the Holy Trinity. So when we have so if we have 2 things, what that does, I'm going to fuck this up right now because I'm trying to contextualize. But when we have 2 things, why we come on, brain and soul. Can we just do human business? Well, I love human business. When we have 2 things, it's binary. And what binary does is it creates pressure. So obviously, when you're lovemaking and you want passion and excitement, it creates pressure, which is good. You want pressure. But why the Trinity? Why I have, or has been downloaded to me, these 3 pillars, is because it's the Trinity. It's the Holy Trinity. And we need the pressure to then birth out. It's like birthing the baby. It's like that 3rd step. And the 3rd piece is actually allowing the quantum to hold you. We've got a bit where we're here. but I think it will land as it's meant to. It's allowing the quantum to hold you. So when we're just trying, like when we've got two things, it's literally just in the physical. We're kind of just like, okay, we've got this pillar and this pillar, but it just keeps creating pressure. And do we want to have pressure in business? No. Just is like, yes. We want to have some pressure. Of course, it's needed. It's needed for momentum. But when you're continuously living a life of pressure, what's going to happen? Burnout, exhaustion, all the things. And we've all been there, which is why we're like, it needs to be a new fucking way. There needs to be a new way. I know there's a new way. So this Holy Trinity came to me is because when we actually bring in this third piece and this third entity, it's the Holy Trinity, it's the feminine, it's, it's still being downloaded to me, but that's the key. And the gene keys, does anybody know or has studied a little bit of the gene keys? Put your hand up. No. Okay. Amazing. We're not going to go into it deeply tonight, but yeah. So the first piece is the soul. And why, what is the soul? The soul is the thing that we came into this earth with. The soul is our dharmic and our karmic blueprint. And then what happened along the way and even through the way. So the dharmic is like what we were born to do. And then the karmic is like the experiences that we're having in the human form. So the reason that I am absolutely obsessed with the gene keys is it gives you a blueprint for your soul. An actual blueprint for your soul. Now, if you knew a blueprint for your soul and you could literally look at this blueprint and be like, that's how I'm meant to do this. That's how I'm meant to exercise. That's how I'm meant to do this. And this whole blueprint gave you the exact codes for your soul. Like, do you think that would be exciting? Yeah. Because it would stop us questioning and second guessing everything. And that in business is such a huge, huge thing. These gene keys have absolutely transformed my whole world, because when I'm feeling stuck or when I'm feeling in the unknown or when I'm feeling like, is that my thing? I can literally go to it and contemplate it and be like, there it is. And I want to show you guys quickly my profile, just so you guys get a little taste of what the gene keys looks like. Where am I? Let me just do that, see if that comes up. Okay, can you guys see that? Amazing. So this is your gene keys hologenetic profile. And basically to me, now this is not like the words that I'm saying are not, this is my own language. I might use some of the gene keys language, but I just want to honor Richard Rudd. This is his body of work. And this is just in terms of how I see the lens and how I see creating a soul-led business and how I support my clients. Is gene keys is one aspect of it. So any words that I'm saying, I just want to honor that it might not be the exact language that Richard Rudd uses it. So I just want to put that here. But this is our hologenetic profile. And if you haven't looked at it before, it's going to be fucking wildly confusing, and that's totally okay. But as you can see here, we've got the Trinity. So we've got our shadow, which is chaos. We've got our gift, which is innovation. And then we've got our city, which is like our highest frequency of our soul right here. And see all these different keys, and they all follow a pathway. So this is my life's work. And I just want to give you guys some context. So for me, this is like the thing, this is almost like the karmic blueprint, what I'm here to experience on the day-to-day, the physical, my life's kind of work. And the reason why this is like so profound is, for me, my shadow, as you know, everything, all of your shadows, all of your trauma are actually your gifts. And that's fucking cool, because anytime, especially if you've been on the healing journey and you're like, but I need to know, like, I have to get rid of my shadows and my traumas. You don't need to get rid of them. They're not going anywhere. You're not going to get rid of and heal all the abuse that you had when you were a kid, or I'm not going to get rid of or heal my mum's death. Like, it's not, I might feel better about it, but it's not for me to get rid of. Because in this amazing blueprint, it actually means that the thing that is my trauma is actually my gift. My wound is my gift. And when you're having a soul-led business, you know, the healing's always coming, but you can actually just be like, that thing that I've been making myself so wrong for is actually my messy and my fucking magic. Like, for me, chaos as my shadow, I'm like, oh, totally. But when it comes into the gift state, which is like, it's innovation. Anytime I'm, you know, how I create my offerings, I'm like, it has to be fucking weird and messy, and my life probably is chaotic, but it transmutes into this gift of innovation. Like, nobody innovates like me, and nobody innovates like you. And you might have that in different parts of your chart. And then the highest frequency of me is innocence. You know, that's why when I do my masterclass, I used to be like, oh, I should have it all like this, and I should be like a script, and I should follow this. But honestly, it's just not my magic. My magic is a little bit innocent. It's like fucking weird, and I say the wrong things and I stuff up, but that's the innocence of who I am. That's my magnetism also as well. So that's just like a little piece on our soul. Like, this to me is a blueprint for us for understanding our soul. And then you can start getting into all these blue keys. These blue keys are our prosperity keys. They are really fun to look at, because this one here, the culture sphere, is actually, and if you guys want to go and get your free profile on Gene Keys, you know, this takes, I've been contemplating, Gene Keys likes to say contemplate, because you cannot learn it all at once. Like, I've been studying it for 5 years and I still know this much on the whole framework. But, you know, you can go and look up things. So like, the culture key is the physical manifestation of money, which, you know, of course, everyone wants to know that key. We're like, tell me how I make money. You know, for me, it's really cool because my shadow is expectation. And my gift is detachment. And then the actual highest frequency of me is celebration. And the times when I've had the most money, I have been so freaking generous in how I give my money. Like, that's how I'd like to be. I want to be able to give, and have money just be like this overflow. And so for me, like, when there's any expectation, like, I mean, I do love having a budget, but when money feels constrictive to me and that I have to hold it and hoard it, I don't want to fucking play that game. So, invitation for you guys to go look at your chart, find out, like, look at just little pieces. You will just start to take so much in contemplating this incredible piece of your soul. I mean, I just love it. And if you decided to go down the Gene Keys, I mean, I wasn't going to talk about it this, but my next 6-month program, my signature offer, we're going to be diving deep. Like, the whole program will be working through the Gene Keys, because it's just a part that you cannot not take with you. And the profoundness of having pieces of you in this chart that just make sense and validate you, so that you can actually go, yes, that's who I am, and that's how I create, and that makes sense to me, so that you can actually start saving time and not questioning and not doubting yourself. Like, how much more freedom do you think that would bring to our lives if that was the case? You know, like, I'm just going to stop the share. I am a Kiwi, yes. How much more freedom would that bring to our lives if we could actually just be like, this is my genius? And I think I want to say something around soul, and like, it will feel, of course, there's going to be moments of it feeling hard. Like, that's inevitable. It's not like, oh, we never experience anything hard when we have a totally aligned business. That's not it. But what it won't feel is that you're continuously pushing a boulder up a fucking hill, or that you keep having things like, I'm constantly in the attunement of things that are coming into my field. Like, why is this coming into my field? Is this for me? Is this not for me? Why do I keep having these things? Like, I'll use my beautiful partner, and he doesn't mind me sharing the story, but like, he had a business coach for like 3 years, like before we met, and bless him. And when we met, I was like, intuitively, as the beautiful oracles we women are, and they don't want to be told that it's not the right thing, do they? Intuitively, I was like, okay, this is not the mentor for him. But he had to go through that journey, and what he went through is that this business coach was great. It wasn't anything wrong with the business coach, but it wasn't like how this coach was teaching him was not in his highest alignment. Like, my beautiful partner is so charismatic and warm, and like, he's not overly, like, he is logical, but not in that way. Like, he needs to be able to talk for hours and be on the land and create, that's why he's doing men's work now, because like, he is just so present and charismatic, but trying to be in the building industry with like all of these, oh my gosh, the building industry, don't even start on that. If anyone knows it, Jake's like, no, these like so many logical things in the air, and you've got to like wait for this person and that person. And he just kept, like, he literally had 3 people not pay him last year, and just like, just kept hitting. This is the pushing up the hill. And I was like, babe, it's not like, and we keep shaming ourselves, thinking that there's something wrong with us because we're not having the success. And that's why I even talk about, like, I love network marketing, but sometimes network marketing isn't for you. Like, it's not where your soul is really going to thrive. Like, where does your soul really thrive? Where does your soul really thrive? And, the soul to me, and why it's so deeply important to me, is because it's literally a blueprint for me being all of my fucking self. And that's what I wanted. That's all I want. I want to just be able to be me, show up as me, show up and talk as me, say the things that I want to say, speak to exactly the woman that I want to serve, because that lights me up. Create the business model that literally is in my highest, and not play by anybody else's rules, anybody else's strategies even. And the next pillar after soul, we go on to spirit, systems. Spirit's the last one. Maybe I should change it. It's systems, because strategies, yes, but systems. So systems are the masculine part. So the feminine is the soul and the masculine is the systems, not strategies, systems. And then the spirit is the communication with God. That's the Holy Trinity. So systems. We need somewhere for our soul to land, don't we? It's like, if I just taught that, okay, here's your soul, and you're like, cool, I'm going to make money. And I'm like, well, how are you going to make money? How are we going to do this? How are we going to create this? Let me just quickly. So, what are the systems we need to have our soul land? One of the deepest and most important things of our systems is our values. So our soul is like, cool, it's doing its thing, it's already happening. But our values and our systems are what we get to bring to be in communion with our soul. Like, this is what we need. So like, if you are not also bringing that container, so like, for example, I'm always in the questioning of like, what are my values? Like, my values are currently right now that I only want to work 15 hours a week. I've got 2 very young children. I mean, I don't actually think I ever want to work more than 15 hours a week. Like, I don't think women are meant to actually work more than that. Not that it doesn't feel like work to me, but we're not actually meant to. So that's a deep value for me. You know, I value my health. I don't always like do that. It's very challenging for me, that one, but I value my health. My partner and I, one of the systems that we have is literally, especially at our current season, from like 5 a.m. in the morning to like 8:30 most nights, there is a system and structure to every single part of our day. Like pretty much Monday to Friday, everything is mapped out. Because we like to have success in our soul business, we need to have the structure. We need to have the structure. So what systems are we using to make sure this is happening? What are the systems in terms of like the business that you need and the support that you need? Because we really, the goal for this and how I see us as humanity, like everything that I'm doing and that I see is like we've all got these our souls, and we've all got these gifts, and we've all got our genius, and what we're doing is we're starting to work together in harmony. So we all have these beautiful things that we bring to the world, and that's how we actually start to change the world, when we start to truly be and own our genius and own our magic. And it seems like super simple, but it can be deeply profound to make sure that you're being held and supported. And I guess the challenging thing, you know, and the realistic thing sometimes is like, well, I don't know how to make that happen. And I don't know what the next thing is. And I don't have the current income even to do that. You know, there's always the circulation of those thoughts. But I think if you just continue to keep praying and continue to keep looking at like, where is my life and what is happening in my life so that I can put in the structure and support that I need. You know, like even the systems of, for me now, if I'm working 4 hours a day, I literally look at my to-do list and I'm like, okay, cool. I've got content. I start with my needle moving activities. Like, what are the conversations that I'm having with clients? What are this, you know, and then like, okay, that's going to take 20 minutes, content, 15 minutes, this, da, 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 da. So how important is it for us to have these systems and these structures? What are the other things we can use? Like, you know, having a VA, social media support. It's just so deeply important that we are not constantly outsourcing ourselves. And I want to just talk a little bit on risk, because I used to be someone that always liked to play at the very edge of the highest risk. I'm like, let's do it. Don't worry about the consequences. And then I had children. And then soul and spirit handed me my fucking ass. It was like, you can't play that way anymore, because it's deeply important that you look after your family. And, you know, you need to have, you know, for us, we have 6 months worth of savings, you know, in case. That's a really important thing for us, you know, because it's not just like, oh, we'll just hire the most expensive mentor and who cares? And, you know, like it was wild. And it was a necessary part of my journey. Cool. So last one, the final trinity. We've got spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it. I believe in non-dual. I'm like, for me, that means whatever you believe in, great. But we've got the masculine, we've got the feminine, and now we've got the overarching, the guide. And just the importance of knowing that we are so deeply not alone in this path, that we are deeply held. Because when it's feeling so fucking overwhelming, you know, I literally pray. I mean, right before this call, I was like, dear God, like just show me the way, show me what these women need, show me how I can best serve them. Let me be a vessel for the truth. Let me be a vessel for you, like always just being in deep, deep prayer. Because when we're trying to do it all on our own, like we are just not alone. And it can be such a deep peace that's missed in having this business. Like miracles are available all of the time. Like when I was in my darkest night of the soul moments, it was like I always go to prayer. Like, show me the way. Constantly. Like, how would you have me move? And it can just even be in my head. Like, how would you have me move? Like, I put everything on the altar. Like, a little bit of a story is tonight, I literally, man, it was a fucking day with my kids. And we're toilet training my 3-year-old, my nearly 3-year-old. So that's fun. And he was like, I'm not going on the toilet. And I'm like, and then he peed all over the floor. And it wasn't, of course, I have total compassion for that. But, it's so challenging and triggering to me. And I just literally got into this huge emotional process because I was like, it's not the kids and the chaos. It's not about that. It's about the underlying emotion that's there. And I've been having a lot of stuff come up with my beautiful partner because when I lost my mum, the only path that I knew was to take this path of like being in control of everything. I was like, I have to control. I have to control. So when things in my life feel out of control, I'm just like, this is not working for me. So I will grip and try to tighten and strengthen as much as I can. And so that, with my kids, it's always bringing this trigger and this trauma up. And in that moment, I just literally, I got the pillows out and I was just bashing on them. And I was just like, okay, just like, show me the way, what's here for me. Let me feel whatever I need to feel. And I cried and I just was like, oh man. And literally half an hour later, one of my best friends messaged me and she's like, hey, I'm running this retreat this weekend. I have a free spot for you. It's about letting go of control. And I was like, what? You are fucking kidding me. And it was just like miraculous. And I chose in that moment. Like I could have ignored that situation. I could have kept, and I knew I was being such a passive aggressive bitch to my children right then. I was like, wow. And they've been getting there a lot from me. When we're trying to hold all these pillars, like our emotions, our triggers, our traumas, like they all come flying out, don't they? We can't sometimes, our kids are our greatest mirror. They are our greatest mirror. Bless their beautiful hearts. But, the more I do this work and the more I lean in when I want to lean out, that's when the magic and the miracles occur. And, we can't do anything for money. Money is just like we have to do it because our whole soul is so excited by it. And true prosperity, like when you've had money and then you actually taste it, you're like, oh, okay, this is not as great as what I thought it was going to be. But having a soul business is about having the deepest amount of fulfillment. And I just think now there's literally no other choice that we have is to honor ourselves, to honor our soul, to honor the things that we are feeling, to trust the intuitive hits and the intuitive nudges that we are always feeling. And so often, you know, if we don't choose it, it will choose us. Just like with my partner last year, you know, keeping having this thing after thing after thing just breaking down. And humanity wants us to play a different game. It truly does. And we need our soul, and we need the systems, and we need you guys to be in your power. And to truly be living that. And despite, not despite, in spite of everything that's happened to you, because of everything that's happened to you, that's what makes you fucking magical. That's what makes this possible. I would love to know in the chat if there is anything that's landing for you or anything you're feeling. Fucking all of it. Love it. Perfect. Feeling the feels. Yeah. All the feels. All of them. The good ones, the bad. Well, they're not even bad. They're just emotions. Yeah, you've been ignoring the intuitive nudges. Yeah. And like just this deep compassion, because, you know, to go against what we think and the you know, like when I sold my salon, I had to face off with everything that meant. I was like, I have to face off with everything that meant, because it meant that I was putting women out of jobs. It meant that I was letting down all my clients. It meant all of the identities that I had to die to. You know, and that's the biggest challenge when it comes to this, is like, what are all the identities that we're consistently dying to? You know, all the ways that we're still playing in order to serve other people, to not serve ourselves. Like our children, you know, this is, I mean, the deepest reason why I do this work. And of course, I love all the, you know, working with women, working with your businesses. But, you know, I just know that we have a deep message to share. And it's really important that we truly lean into this, not just for ourselves, but for our children. You know, we want our children to know the way, like we're breaking generational trauma by choosing this. You know, so that's like when you're also reparenting yourself, you're running this soul-led business, you're like, oh my gosh, seriously, I fucking take the hats off anyone that's a mum in here, or, you know, it doesn't even matter if you're not a mum, you're still doing this work. And it's huge stuff. Sorry, the comments, all of it is landing. Yes, Jade, love it. Woohoo, 3K. Oh, amazing, Linka. Am I saying that right? Linka? Yeah, beautiful. To use the chat on the phone. I know the chat on the phone is really challenging. Starting your own journey of creating your own lives presence. Oh, that's so good. And you know what? It's so great that, you know, if I had known this stuff like so many years ago, man, it would have saved so much time. But, you know, if you are starting out, and somebody asked me on a podcast the other day, like if someone was starting their business, but what they do, I was like, literally find a mentor or somebody that can actually look at your blueprint, because while it's all well and good to work with people that help you refine your message and help you do if you are not honoring your genius and how your soul works, like you'll just completely miss the mark. You know, and this is from so much experience that I've had, is that like when I try to copy what my mentor's doing, and sometimes we can't help it, because we edify our mentors so much, we're like, oh my God, I've got to try to be like them. And then we cut off our soul and our expression at the head. So the key point is like finding what's your voice, what's your message, like how do you show up online, like maybe actually writing is your thing, maybe it's not, you know. And when we can get so confused in these ideals of how we should be, we lose our essence. And I promise you, if you want to have an incredible online business, if you want to have an incredible, I talked about this on a call today with Dave was there, if you want to have an incredible brand, your magnetism and your essence is the absolute thing that is going to set your whole business up for life. Your magnetism, the thing that when you walk into a room, people want to buy from you. Because it's not about like how smart you are. It's about you and what the thing is and your bloody courage to go after what you want. It's complete courageousness to continue to lean in. And that frequency, it can't be put into a strategy. And that's why unlocking your soul and unlocking and finding those pieces and owning your genius, like owning the things that are like, oh my God, this is so weird and messy, but it's actually your magic and it's actually the way that people want to be led by you. And it's not just, it's being led by you, but it's also, you cannot sustain a business where you are literally not being yourself. You just cannot. It will not last. Again, you'll start to get into a situation where you're pushing shit uphill. You know, being in communion, like, which is where the spirit comes in, like I'm in deep communion with my business. So while the soul is there, I'm also being a vessel and a channel. So I'm in relationship all the time with my entity. So it's like, it's not just about me anymore. And that way too, it's like, how do I create content? You know, every day I'm like, okay, so what would you have me write? And sometimes that can be challenging because you need to start getting into a process of literally tuning into, what does my soul need? What does my soul want? How am I meant to do this? How am I meant to create? And it just starts to flow. And when you get into that flow state, like that's when the truth, and that's when people really start to feel you, because it's a felt sense, isn't it? Like you think about all the people that you love and admire, and it's like, wow, you can really feel that the words they say. Harry's with the control from mum, dad too. Oh, hold on, so I'm tired for so many things. Man, that control piece, it's so big. And that's what we're all letting go of. And we're all letting go of, ultimately, the deepest fear is death. You know, that's what we're walking into. And all of these beliefs that we're holding on to about how things should be and how our business should be. And the miracles and the magic and the money, miracles, the magic and the money happen when we just start playing a whole different game. And that can only be when your soul is literally at the driver's seat of everything. And it gets to be fun. Seriously, you know, like if you're not having fun in your business, then it's going to be really challenging as well. And who's ready to have a whole lot more fun? Because the more fun you have, the more money you make, the more fun you have, the more money you make, the more fun you have, the more money you make. Yes, yes, yes. I love being with women, you know, and how amazing that we get to do this work. You know, how amazing that we've been put here at this time to actually make a change. You know, and whilst we do have privilege, and I totally honor that, we get to use this privilege for power. And on a holistic level, like the more money we have in with women who have fucking amazing messages and amazing things to share, the more we actually change the world. So a little recap. Soul, Holodynamic Blueprint. Yes, yum. Oh my gosh, we'll change the game. systems. What systems are you using to implement in your life? How can you put more structure? How can you get more support in your life? Even if you don't know the how right now, what would it look like? What would your highest timeline look like to be so supported with your soul and spirit? Where are you being in deep, deep communion with spirit and not actually having to try to lead this on your own? That's when it becomes not about us and deeply about service and deeply about humanity. Deeply about humanity. And then that's just game over. And then you actually just get to enjoy your life. Like that is the whole point, is that we actually get to enjoy our life and to be so deeply fulfilled and be so present with our children, you know, because your soul wants to be in alignment with your values. If your values are that you actually enjoy and you want to be with your kids way more and you still want to have abundance of money, like I always say this, if you, the dreams and the visions that you're feeling, like why would God not want you to have them if you feel it? Like it's possible. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't know about it. It would be in our unknown. And I've seen, and you've seen, so many amazing women who are no different to us, literally. And I know all of you are here because you've walked a path that most don't. Women who are called into walking with their soul, women who are called into playing a whole new way, have traversed the darkest parts of their soul. But that's what makes you a fucking incredible leader. I always think about like how I don't want to fuck my kids up. And then I'm like, yeah, but also like, you're really amazing because you're fucked up. It's true. I mean, they're going to get fucked up. It also makes things a lot more easy when I'm like, oh, I really want to, I was saying to my sister, I'm like, I want to smack him with his chair. Toddlers. Bless their little hearts. Yeah, I love that. Oh, what did you write, Jess? There's the miracle, the magic, and the money happen when you start playing a different game. Oh, God, that should be a post, shouldn't it? That's soul on fire. I'm ready to work with spirit. Who else is ready to work with spirit? Just like play a whole new game. Play a whole new game. Like, and you get to, it all gets to be a choice. Literally, all of it is a choice, and a choice in this moment, whether you choose to take a new path and a new direction. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I wanted to just give you guys a little offer, because obviously this is a masterclass, so you guys know that I'm going to talk to you about something. So I have these amazing things called a Soul Biz strategy session. They are $2.99, and I'm wanting to walk with people even more. And if you guys sign up in the next 24 hours, you are going to get a month free Telegram support from me. So if you guys don't know what that looks like, it means that you get access to me. So we would do our 90-minute session. We could go over your blueprint. We could go over whatever is alive for you, strategies, systems, your soul, work on your voice, work on whatever is happening in your life. And then you also, which I don't normally do, it's valued at $3.99, get the Telegram support. So you can voice note me and be like, hey, this is what's this. This is what's this. So I'm like your in-pocket cheerleader as well. So Soul Biz strategy session for the next 24 hours. I'm going to send you guys an email right after this. And I would love, love, love to continue to walk with you guys. Walk with legendary women who are really here changing the game. And just want to honor you. Because it's so courageous to choose this path. Like I know every part of you that's walked to get here. You know, like it's like you've seen a lot of fucking shit to get here. So thank you, like honestly, from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, just feel so blessed to do this work. So thank you, beautiful ladies. I'll send you the link now. Would love to see some of you guys in there, and hope you have the most beautiful, beautiful evening. Mwah. Bye.